Stoics believe that we can't change things outside of our control, like other people's actions or events. The only things we can change are our own thoughts, choices, and actions, so we should focus on those, and calmly and evenly accept what we can't change. Stoicism teaches us how to get rid of negative feelings like anger, fear, envy, and lust that make us act irrationally and disturb our peace of mind. The Stoics say that these feelings come from having wrong or illogical ideas about what is good and bad. They say that we can get rid of these emotions by looking at our beliefs and changing them. Relationships with other people, especially those of the opposite sex, are one area of life where Stoicism can help. Stoics say that we should be kind, fair, and respectful to everyone, no matter what gender they are or where they come from. But they also warn us about the dangers and temptations that can come from our sexual desires and attachments, and tell us to be very careful when dealing with women. This video will be about a part of Stoicism that is especially important for guys. How a guy should always keep a woman from knowing. This might seem odd or even sexist, but it's not. It comes from the Stoic view of human nature and the role of men and women in society. It also comes from the Stoic ideal of self-mastery, which says that we should be quiet and humble about certain things. So what are these 8 things that a man should always keep from a woman? Number 1. His flaws in the Stoic theory. When it comes to dealing with problems and weaknesses, a calm man follows a set of timeless rules. One of the main ideas behind Stoicism is that the only way to really know someone is by seeing how they handle problems that come up in their weak spots. A man who is strong resists the urge to complain or look for comfort in admitting his pain. One important idea in the Stoic philosophy is to be able to handle anything with Stoicism, which is a word that includes traits like patience, forbearance, resignation, courage, and endurance. It's not about hiding feelings or ignoring that pain exists. Instead, it's about facing problems with a clear head. Stoicism teaches that people can't change the things that happen to them, but they can choose how to react to those things. Stoic men don't try to get sympathy or pity from others, not even from their loved ones like their lover or wife. Instead, they draw on their own strength and resolve. Realizing that one's own strength lies within. According to Stoicism, being self-sufficient and building an inner strength that doesn't depend on outside approval or statements of pity are very important. This is in contrast to common belief, which says that showing your weaknesses and asking for help is a sign of strength. Stoicism gives you a different view. The Stoic man knows that suffering in silence has power, not just for the sake of being stoic, but also for building a strong and calm spirit. This silence is not an attempt to hide feelings, but a choice to face problems with an unwavering inner strength. In the Stoic view, flaws are not things that bring down a person's confidence or self-esteem. Instead, they are seen as chances to grow and get better. Every struggle and hardship is an opportunity to become a better person. The Stoic man finds the raw materials for his own change by being honest about his flaws. The Stoic life is an ongoing journey of self-discovery and self-mastery. If you follow this attitude, each trial is not a problem, but a chance to get better at living a good life. When facing life's unknowns with poisoned inner strength, the Stoic man finds a deep sense of purpose and fulfillment. In a world full of chaos and unpredictability, the Stoic man is a symbol of the lasting power of a disciplined mind and an unbreakable spirit. Number 2, the mistakes he made in calm thought. The way they deal with mistakes is very insightful and educational, especially when you think about how a man and a woman interact with each other. From a Stoic point of view, mistakes are not just oversights or errors. They are seen as important steps on the way to becoming wiser and bettering oneself. So, a Stoic man learns from his mistakes by being humble, working hard, and thinking about what he did wrong. One important part of the Stoic way of dealing with mistakes is not telling everyone about them, especially women, in a way that could be seen as a sign of stupidity or foolishness. Being honest about your flaws isn't a sign of shame or fear from this point of view. It comes from knowing that mistakes are opportunities to learn. The Stoic man knows that talking about his mistakes might not always make things better in a relationship or chat. For a Stoic, the best way to deal with mistakes is through humility and hard work. A Stoic man knows that everyone makes mistakes, but he doesn't take them lightly. He gives his tasks and decisions a lot of thought and consideration, which lowers the chance of making a mistake. But when it does happen, he doesn't avoid it. Instead, he sees it as a chance to grow and improve himself. Stoics believe that the best way to grow is to learn from your mistakes. The Stoic man thinks about his mistakes not out of shame or guilt, but with a clear and logical mind, trying to figure out what went wrong and what lessons can be learned from them. This process of self-reflection and analysis is essential for turning mistakes into valuable life lessons that will help you handle similar situations more wisely in the future. The stern man also learns from his mistakes by being disciplined and persistent. He knows that getting better is an ongoing process that needs steady work. He doesn't let his mistakes define him. Instead, he uses them to make positive changes and improve himself. One more important Stoic concept is to take responsibility for your mistakes. The calm man doesn't play the blame game by blaming others or himself. Instead, he owns up to his actions and the results of them, and he thinks about how he can fix things and avoid making the same mistakes again. It's not the things that happen to us that bother us, but our thoughts about them, the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said beautiful about this way of thinking. This deep statement supports the Stoic idea that how we see and respond to things, even our own mistakes, determines how they affect us in the end. When a Stoic man makes a mistake, he handles it with a mix of respect, learning, and taking responsibility for himself. He doesn't try to hide his mistakes. Instead, he views them as chances to grow and develops his inner strength and knowledge by following the Stoic virtues. He goes through life with a better understanding and a promise to keep getting better. Number 3. His dreams. Stoic ideas about dreams and goals come from a philosophy of realism, pragmatism, and self-sufficiency. Because of this, a Stoic man tackles his dreams with a unique mix of groundedness and focus, staying away from vanity and delusion. Stoics believe that dreams and aspirations are not silly illusions or impossible fantasies, but meaningful pursuits that are in line with one's values and abilities. This way of thinking affects how he interacts with others, especially with women, when he talks about his hopes and dreams. So, a Stoic man is careful not to tell others about his dreams, not because he wants to keep them a secret, but to avoid falling into the trap of ego and the need for approval from others. This reserve doesn't mean they don't want to achieve their goals. It's just a reflection of the Stoic principle of focusing on what you can control and change. Dreams are not pursued because of a need for praise or support from others, like a romantic partner. The Stoic man follows his inner compass and seeks happiness and fulfillment through personal growth and the achievement of goals that are in line with his true self. He knows that wanting approval from others can disappoint and take away from real self-improvement. This way of thinking about dreams is related to the Stoic practice of concentrating on tasks and attainable goals. The Stoic man focuses his energy on goals that he can reach and uses his passion and purpose to do things that make his life and the lives of those around him better. He knows that wasting time and energy on things he can't control or that don't affect his happiness is not a good use of his time and energy. The Stoic man has a strong sense of self-reliance and autonomy when it comes to his dreams. He doesn't depend on other people to shape or support his goals. Instead, he trusts his own judgment and inner voice and uses his inner resources to make his dreams come true. This self-reliance is not a rejection of other people's help, but an affirmation of his ability to choose the path of his life. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, summed up this theory in his deep observation: "The happiness of your life rests on the quality of your thoughts." This quote supports the Stoic view that true happiness and fulfillment come from within and are shaped by the nature and quality of one's thoughts and perspectives. Goals aren't just idle fantasies. They show a thoughtful and purpose-driven mind. The Stoic man's approach to his goals is a balance of realism, self-reliance, and a focus on his own values and abilities. He looks at his goals through the lenses of realism and self-validation, trying to reach targets that will make him truly happy and are in line with his values. This calm and reflective approach to dreams shows how Stoic people are committed to living a life based on thoughtful, purposeful, and self-sufficient principles. Number 4. How he felt in the rich philosophical environment of Stoicism. How the Stoic man deals with his emotions and thoughts is a complex look at self-awareness. Mindfulness and controlling your emotions on purpose are based on Stoic ideas that say you should understand things instead of pushing them down. He handles the complicated world of feelings with balance, knowing that they affect what he thinks and does. Despite the false belief that Stoicism requires controlling your emotions, the Stoic man doesn't try to hide his feelings. Instead, he welcomes them with a deep awareness and mindfulness. In the Stoic philosophy, emotions aren't seen as enemies that need to be defeated, but as signs that can tell you a lot about your inner state by recognizing and understanding them. The calm man learns more about himself and is better able to handle the challenges of life. The calm man is very aware of how his emotions and feelings might affect the decisions and actions he makes. Stoicism teaches that a wise person doesn't let their emotions take over their reasoning, but instead uses emotional intelligence to make smart decisions. By keeping this balance, the Stoic man makes sure that his reactions to outside events aren't based on fleeting emotions, but on a deliberate and well-thought-out thought process. While the Stoic man is aware of his emotions, he chooses how to express them to others carefully. This choice isn't about pretending not to care, but because he really wants to talk about his feelings in a way that is appropriate and helpful for those around him. He knows that showing emotions to everyone, even his lover or wife, may not always be good for relationships. Stoicism also explains why Stoic men choose to hide some of their feelings from other people. They do this because they want to appear logical and calm. The goal is not to be emotionally detached, but to be in charge of his feelings and be able to choose when and how to show them. In the Stoic philosophy, he tries to show that he is calm and logical so that he doesn't seem illogical or overly emotional to other people. Emotions and feelings are not thrown away. Instead, they are honed and used as tools for self-awareness and knowledge. Stoic man's way of dealing with his feelings shows how well reason and emotion can work together to create a dynamic balance that leads to a balanced life. In the end, resilience and thoughtful involvement with the world. The Stoic man's way of dealing with emotions is a complex dance between self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and the wise expression of emotions. In the grand tapestry of Stoic virtues, his way of dealing with emotions is like a brushstroke that paints a picture of a thoughtful, logical, and emotionally intelligent person navigating the complicated landscapes of the human experience. 5. His secrets in Stoic thought. How you handle personal secrets is closely linked to the values of honesty, respect, and privacy for yourself and others. A man with a tough exterior may share his secrets in different ways depending on the situation, especially when he is with a woman. A Stoic view on secrets is not about keeping them for the sake of keeping them, but about knowing the value of privacy and how important it is to keep one's honor. People keep secrets because they show what's going on in their lives and are very private. This isn't because they contain anything bad or embarrassing, but because they protect their privacy and sense of self-worth. A Stoic man respects the privacy of his inner world and knows that not everyone, not even close friends and family, needs to know everything about his life. This sense of privacy is a central idea in Stoic thought and guides how a Stoic man interacts with others. He doesn't spread rumors or lie about other people because he knows that doing so hurts their trust in him and makes him look bad. He doesn't shut up out of fear of being found out, but out of respect. In order to protect his own and other people's privacy, he is being quiet. This shows that he values personal space and keeping shared secrets private. The Stoics believe that honor and honesty are very important. A Stoic man is dedicated to keeping his word and staying honest. He doesn't lie or betray others because he knows that doing so would go against his morals and hurt their trust in him. His honor-based behavior includes how he handles his own secrets as well as those given to him by others. Another thing that the Stoic man does about secrets is that he guards them, knowing that doing so is a way of showing respect for the privacy and dignity of others. He doesn't tell or use other people's secrets, not even his own. This defensive position isn't meant to hide the truth or avoid taking responsibility. Instead, it's meant to protect the sacredness of personal experiences and inner lives. For Stoics, keeping secrets safe means having a lot of self-trust. People who are silent trust themselves with their secrets and rely on their own judgment to decide what they should share and what they should keep to themselves. This self-trust doesn't mean he's lonely or doesn't trust other people. It just means he believes he can handle his own inner world. One of the most famous Stoics, Cicero, said that the most sacred thing in the world is the human soul. This quote perfectly captures the Stoic belief that the inner self, which includes thoughts, feelings, experiences, and secrets for the Stoic man, is sacred. As a way to honor the sacredness of the human soul, the Stoic man handles his secrets with a delicate balance of discretion, honor, and respect. He values the privacy and dignity of his inner world and knows that not all parts of his life need to be shared. His dedication to discretion, trustworthiness, and protection of personal boundaries shows that he values the sacredness of the human soul. By living this way, the Stoic man embodies the principles of Stoicism by living a life based on honesty, respect for privacy, and the development of a good and honorable inner self. Sixth, his pains in the weave of Stoic thought. Understanding how the Stoic man deals with pain shows how strong he is and how determined he is to stay calm. This point of view has a big effect on how he deals with and talks about his pain, especially when he's in a relationship with a woman. According to the Stoic view, pain is not something to hide or deny, but something to rise above suffering and face challenges with a calm and positive attitude. From a Stoic point of view, showing one's pains publicly, especially in a romantic relationship, could be seen as a sign of suffering and misery. The Stoic man, on the other hand, doesn't give up when things get hard. Instead, he keeps a calm and happy attitude. The understanding that problems in life are a normal part of being human. The Stoic man's response to pain is marked by endurance. He doesn't let pain control his mood or behavior. Instead, he faces it with patience and strength. Stoicism tells us that dealing with hard times with grace is not a sign of weakness, but of strength and resilience. The Stoic man adopts this philosophy and chooses to deal with his pains with endurance and, surprisingly, joy. When he is in pain, the Stoic man doesn't moan or groan. Instead, he bears them with grace and gratitude. This choice isn't based on a masochistic desire to suffer, but on the knowledge that dealing with pain with grace is a process that changes you. The calm man knows that pain, like everything else in life, can be a chance to learn more about himself and grow. The Stoic philosophy supports a unique way of looking for pain relief. The Stoic man doesn't actively look for comfort or quick relief from his pain. Instead, he sees pain as a challenge that will make him stronger. By seeing pain as a chance to grow and be challenged, he turns the experience into an important and life-changing part of his journey. The Stoic man doesn't show weakness or try to get sympathy when he's in pain. Instead, he sees it as a personal challenge and a chance to change himself. By not showing his pain, he focuses his energy on facing challenges with strength and keeping a calm and positive attitude. Seneca. The famous Stoic scholar summed up this way of life in a profound statement: tests of fire tests for cash and bad luck. Gentlemen, this comparison supports the Stoic view that problems and challenges, which are represented by the fire, are chances for people to show how strong and kind they really are. The Stoic man faces this test with bravery and strength. In essence, the Stoic man's way of dealing with pain is a balanced mix of endurance, joy, and transformative growth. He does this by facing challenges with resilience, keeping a positive attitude, and seeing pain as a chance to grow. He embodies the Stoic ideals of inner strength and calmness. The Stoic man goes beyond suffering by facing life's challenges with grace and a firm commitment to. In the philosophical landscape of Stoicism, the way to enjoy pleasure is marked by a clear call for moderation and temperance. This point of view is especially important when talking about how a Stoic guy interacts and dates women. Stoicism, which focuses on virtue and self-mastery, gives us a more complex view of pleasure, seeing it as something that can lead to overindulgence and addiction if we don't approach it with care and control. Pleasure isn't bad in and of itself, but how we relate to pleasure is something that needs careful thought. To stay true to the Stoic principles of self-discipline and reason, he knows that letting pleasures rule or corrupt him would be wrong. So he approaches his pleasures with reason and moderation. The Stoic man loves pleasures, but always keeps in mind that they are temporary and could take his attention away from more important things. This view on pleasure is not about deprivation or aesthetics, but about finding a balanced and thoughtful way to include pleasure in life. The Stoic man avoids excess and indulgence by being careful and restrained in his pursuit of pleasurable experiences. By doing this, he makes sure that his pleasures don't take over his life, but stay as parts of it that he can enjoy without sacrificing his principles or well-being. Since Stoics believe that wanting and craving pleasures will only lead to unhappiness and chaos, they practice not attaching to them. They don't let their wants cloud their judgment or stray from their morals. Instead, they use their pleasures with wisdom and virtue, making sure that they serve them instead of controlling them. Stoicism also stresses how important it is to not waste or abuse joys. The Stoic man cares more about the quality of his experiences than the number of them. He wants to keep and improve his joys not by indulging in them, but by being aware of their worth and consciously enjoying them. He is able to get real pleasure from his pleasures without falling into the trap of excess or hedonism with women because of this method. The Stoic man stays true to the principle of self-regulation. He doesn't look for pleasures in other people, like relationships. Instead, he focuses on controlling his wants and needs from within, making sure they are in line with his Stoic values. Being able to control himself shows that he values personal purity and freedom. Epictetus, a famous Stoic philosopher, sums up this way of life with his deep understanding. Freedom doesn't come from getting everything you want. It comes from managing your wants. This quote shows the Stoic view that real freedom and happiness come from controlling one's wants and urges instead of letting them control you. The Stoic man is an example of this wisdom, finding freedom and happiness not in unrestrained indulgence, but in the thoughtful and disciplined enjoyment of pleasures. Ultimately, a Stoic man's approach to pleasure is marked by a deep understanding of the balance between enjoyment and self-control. By enjoying pleasures in a measured and aware way, he upholds the ideals of rationality and timelessness. He can enjoy the good things in life without falling into the bad habits of excess and indulgence because he takes a fair view of things. In this way, he lives his life according to the good principles of Stoicism. There is a unique way of looking at the idea of love that stresses freedom, self-sufficiency, and logic. A Stoic man who follows the principles of Stoicism approaches love without becoming too attached or dependent on it. This point of view is very important for understanding how a Stoic man deals with romantic relationships and emotional ties. Love isn't about losing yourself in someone else or becoming too attached to them. It's about loving with freedom and reason. He thinks of love as a feeling that should be guided by knowledge and understanding. He is able to stay independent and self-sufficient, even when he is in a relationship he loves, because he doesn't let his love cloud his judgment or tie him down in a way that goes against his values or freedom. When loving another person, the Stoic man practices respect, dignity, and equality. He sees love as an exchange of respect and care, not as a way to control or possess another person. This way of thinking makes for a healthy and balanced relationship where both people are free to be themselves and grow on their own. Also, the Stoic man doesn't demand or expect love in a way that puts stress on the relationship. Instead, he appreciates and cherishes the love he receives, knowing that love is a gift to be valued and not a right to be claimed. This way of thinking makes him more grateful and mindful in his relationships, which improves the quality and depth of his emotional connections. The Stoic man doesn't feel the need to constantly show his love through words alone. He knows that true love is shown through actions and behaviors that show care, understanding, and support. His love isn't just spoken, it's shown through his daily interactions and how he treats his partner. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor and philosopher, said, "The best way to get revenge is not to become like the person who wronged you." This quote shows the Stoic belief in staying good, even when faced with problems or negative influences. In the context of love, it means that a Stoic person stays true to his values and doesn't let his feelings make him do things that are against them. Because of this, the Stoic man's approach to love is a mix between emotional depth and logical understanding. He loves deeply and honestly, but always knows how important it is to keep his independence, virtue, and good judgment. This balanced approach to love lets him build meaningful relationships while keeping true to the core ideas of Stoicism. This leads to a happier and more peaceful life. Here are the 8 things that Stoicism says a man should always keep from a woman. That doesn't mean a man should lie to or trick a woman or be cold or distant from her. It means a man should be honest and loyal, but also discreet and modest. It means a man should be warm and affectionate, but also logical and independent. It means a man should be a man and not a boy. By keeping these things from a woman, he doesn't hide himself from her. He shows her his courage. He was smart and honest, his strength, his honor. He shows his virtue, which is the only thing that counts in life, through his joy, moderation, and love. This is the Stoic way of living and loving. It's not easy, but it's worth it. It's not popular, but it's right. It's not for everyone, but it works for us. We are the Stoics, and we want to help you join us. If you want to learn more about Stoicism and how it can improve your life, please subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon to be notified of our new videos. In them, we'll talk more about how to use Stoicism in your daily life and find happiness and peace of mind. Thanks for watching, and remember that all you need is yourself to be happy.